On today's podcast, we'll be sharing our early reactions to Mission Impossible Fallout, as well as discussing the latest subscription model drama and other news as well. Let's get started.
This is Off the Break Podcast, presented by Silver Screen Insider.
Welcome, everyone. This is Off the Break Podcast. I'm Cody. With me, as always, are Kyle and Eric.
Hello.
Hello again.
So this week, at the end of the week, we are giving out our reactions because Kyle and I saw the early show of Mission Impossible Fallout.
Yes, it finally arrived.
Eric was supposed to go.
Yeah.
We were all three committed, and then he bailed.
I didn't want to bail.
But you did.
I wanted to make sure I wouldn't fall asleep during the movie because
Fall
I
out
had
of
planned
sleep.
on the 7 o'clock showing.
Yeah,
But
couldn't make it.
No, that's fair. I mean,
unfortunate turn of events.
I went to a 10:30 showing, and the movie is a bit longer than the rest of them, and you can feel it in this movie. It's still fun. It's awesome to watch, but like after a while, you're just like, I
Well,
am
see,
gonna
I
fall
knew how
asleep
long it
because
was.
it is late.
I knew
and-
how long it was, and in the past, even if I'm beyond excited for it, I guess I'm just not as young as I used to be. I just start nodding off. And I'm like, no, this can't be happening. No. Like, it happened in Blade Runner 2049 when they were like strangling each other in the car when
Yeah.
the water's sloshing up. I'm like, how can I be falling asleep during this right now?
Well, that one's even longer than
yeah,
Mission Impossible.
Yeah, so I knew that I would probably not be strong enough. So
Well,
I
thanks for
decided
bailing,
against it.
but that was also
Yeah.
smart.
So, unfortunately, we can't have any spoilery reactions because
we usually
Eric's
save
here.
spoilers for the next week anyways.
Except for last week when we had to tell everybody that
Yeah, but
Meryl
nobody-
Streep was
nobody-
dead
Nobody cares.
in Mamma Mia.
Nobody cares that Meryl Streep died in that.
I mean,
No.
I will care when Meryl Streep dies.
Yeah.
I'm not totally heartless.
So,
Yeah, what did you guys think?
I saw the movie. I really enjoyed it. I hadn't actually seen Ghost Protocol or Rogue Nation. I just wasn't in them.
Blasphemy.
It was just in a time of my life where I wasn't super interested in those kind of films.
I'm too cool for popular action movies.
I was like, ugh, Tom Cruise. I just over it. I don't know who all these other people are. And I'm like, this is what, like 4th and 5th Mission Impossible? Oh, I'm over it. But I'm back. I just really
Wow.
wanted a good action movie. And I saw it and I really enjoyed it. And you do not have to see the other ones to get the plot of this story.
No, I would agree with that. I would say if you did want a little bit more story and understanding of what happens in Fallout, like you could check out Rogue Nation. I think that one is the biggest key to the whole thing because there's some big ties to it. But yeah, you're right, Cody. For the most part, like you don't really need to see the rest of the Mission Impossibles. Like it's pretty straightforward from the beginning, like what it's about, and from there it's just boom, boom, boom.
That's kind of how I feel about most of the Mission Impossibles.
Mhm.
They more or less just kind of stand on their own. Yes,
Yeah.
there's some connective plot lines or characters, but
Yeah.
it's not going to prevent you from enjoying it
I
or
was
understanding it.
really intrigued by Sean Harris's character. And so I kind of want to see Rogue Nation because I want to see why he was the big bad, like how that happened and
Yeah.
unfolded, how he was the big baddie in that. So
Oh yeah, I
'cause
remember. Yeah,
he's such an integral part to this, and he's so creepy. He is just he gives me like the shivers and the hairs on the back of
Really?
my neck. Yeah, like
Oh,
he
huh.
scares me because he's got that calm, like where it's just in the eyes, like that calm, deadly stare.
Yeah.
Like I will kill you, and I will take pleasure in doing it, but you will not see it coming.
Well, I'm glad you thought in depth about that.
Yeah, I did.
Now I won't go to sleep at night thinking about that. Yeah, no, so it seems like you enjoyed it as much as I did, probably. Which
yeah.
parts did you enjoy? Like, what about it was really where you were like, yeah, this is
well,
awesome.
I was excited to see the Halo jump, but I had pretty much seen the scene in CinemaCon, so it
Right.
wasn't like, oh my gosh, new for me. But I wanted to see what the final product was because
Mhm.
at CinemaCon they didn't have the finishing touches on it, so
Oh, okay.
that was really excited. Let's see, I thought the chase scene through Paris got a little long towards the end.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
But I loved the helicopter chase scene at the end of the movie.
Yeah, like it seemed like they did a really great job at like chase scenes. I mean, there's Tom Cruise running, chasing after the villains. There's
Right.
the car scene that you're talking about, which I think I haven't seen a great car chase scene like that in a while, probably since like Baby Driver, honestly. And I would say that this probably tops some of what Baby Driver was able to do.
When they were in the car, that part was awesome. It was just there's so many sequences of like a motorcycle and a car and then like on the boat, and it's a lot.
And throughout like all of that action, and you're just being thrown like all of these action set pieces, and there's just so much going on. Like you can still feel like the intense drama and how important like this mission is to Tom Cruise as well as his whole team. And I think that's really great in its writing, as well as understanding like how to treat not just the character of Ethan Hunt, but just these side characters, which I think this franchise has done a lot better.
Henry Cavill was an interesting addition.
I loved him.
To it. I liked his mustache. He was definitely menacing and he had a big presence on screen.
Yes. Like once he walked into a room, you're like, he is giant.
That's what I'm so excited for.
The bathroom scene that you see in like the trailers or whatever. It is awesome. It is just. It was probably like one of my favorites of like the franchise, probably.
Every time.
I can't wait to talk.
The arm pump thing is still cool.
Cocking his biceps.
Yeah, he does. And he gets ready. I can't wait to talk next week on Monday about after Eric finally sees it, because I have some things I wanted to ask and like talk about in that scene. That
like character related stuff. I think you and I talked earlier, and that's where we were like,
is that when I was trying to plug my ears?
Yeah, that's when you had to plug your ears when you were
Eric
going to
baby
spoilers.
ears can't hear what we have to discuss, and we have real things to discuss.
Yeah, but overall, though, I think this movie still does a fantastic job at dealing with the star power of Tom Cruise, while also like giving a lot of time and a lot of credit to the rest of the team as well. And the action, I think, does take it to the next level. I don't know if it's like the best of the year, the best of even the decade, as some people have been saying it is. Like I would have just to think about that a bit more, but it is well worth your time just to watch like all of the intense moments of it all.
Of course, there's recency bias.
For
better and for worse. But how would you put it up against the other Mission Impossibles?
Ooh, against the other Mission Impossibles, I would say that is probably the best.
Really? I'll watch them and tell you.
Okay.
I will watch them and tell you.
I remember. Yeah, I would say like Fallout's is the best, and then it would go 4 and then 5. But 4 and 5 like are just very close to each other. Like they're both good in general.
Oh yeah. So it's good. It's good to know that it's continuing. It's getting better with age pattern.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like Fast and the Furious. Like I mean, there's still like, you know, popcorn films, and you just can shut your brain off and have a good time. But at least like they know like what they are now, and they're just getting better as like they keep progressing.
Yeah, well, that's good to know.
Yeah, so hopefully if they make a 7th one, like it'll even amp it up even more somehow. Which, who knows if they'll be able? Who knows if they'll be able to do that or not? But
yeah, nice. No, I'm glad to hear that you guys both enjoyed it. I'm super excited.
Yeah, I'll be curious about your thoughts about it.
I agree. I don't want to overhype the action. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
No, I never let.
But I don't think it's the best of
the
year. I mean, Skyscraper was a really action-packed film. It was just. I'm not saying it was better. I'm I'm just saying there were some cool stunts that like had you like intense.
I highly doubt that The Rock was actually doing all of the stuff that he was doing. In that
Mission
movie.
is definitely more grounded in reality, but I don't feel like the heart poundingness of those stunts like I did in Skyscraper.
Really?
Yeah, I just think because
I feel like that's going to be an
it's
so
insanely
silly.
controversial
I mean,
thing
I
to
haven't
say.
seen Skyscraper, so I can't like make an argument about it. But I just find that a bit interesting that you think that.
Yeah, I think because in Skyscraper, I'm always worried that he's gonna fall.
I mean, it's a
you
big.
know he's not gonna.
I know
fall.
he's not
It's a
gonna
big
fall,
building. Like I don't blame
But
you.
he
Like that
jumps,
thing's
and I'm
tall.
like, oh, he might not make it. He might not make it.
It's a big green screen.
Right.
Yeah.
In Mission, I'm like, okay, they're like on the ground, just in cars, and then everybody sees in the trailer he gets like hit by a car on the motorcycle, and he flies over it, and so I'm like, okay, like some of this is.
He's actually doing all that stuff. He's getting hit. Tom Cruise is just.
It's really impressive. Like you
Super
got to give the
human.
guy credit. Like he wants like realism, and he wants people to enjoy themselves in the theater, and he'll do whatever it takes to make it happen. It doesn't work in
why
all
I
of
wanna
his
see it.
movies, but for Mission Impossible, that's
Yeah.
really where it's
Oh, yeah.
his bread and butter.
Nice. I'm beyond
We'll just
excited.
always forget that he was in The Mummy.
Yeah, we can do that.
Let's
Wait,
just
they made a
forget
Mummy
that.
with Tom Cruise?
It was haha, I
No.
see what you did there. Haha. You forgot about it. It's funny.
Well, I know that everybody should go out this weekend and see Mission Impossible. However, you should probably think twice about whipping out that MoviePass.
Well, you probably won't even be able to use it
Right.
to see.
Don't plan on
movie.
having the MoviePass be how you pay for that movie.
Yeah. Yep. It finally happened. They
Well, not officially, not yet.
Not officially,
yet,
okay.
Not yet. Yeah, so basically what happened is if you tried to use your MoviePass last night, you probably experienced this firsthand, but basically MoviePass ran out of money last night. Just out of money, and they couldn't pay for the tickets that people were wanting to get with their MoviePass cards. So they borrowed $5 million in cash to get the app
In
and the
cash?
service. Yeah,
Where's their loan
to get the
officer?
service back up and
I
running.
want to meet that loan
Um,
shark.
I can't
I
imagine.
need $5 million in cash, and I have no money, so
I can't imagine that money will last them very long, because by all accounts, I can't keep track of all these companies and names, but by all accounts, the people that have been
the parent company.
yeah, letting them,
Helios.
giving them chance after chance after chance. Helios
Right.
and Matheson,
Yeah.
is what I think is what it is. They're basically saying, okay, you had your 700 chances.
700 million chances.
So everywhere you look, it's kind of the last legs of MoviePass, sadly.
It's on the deathbed, and it's.
But we all saw
you
this
can
coming.
hear the rattle in the chest.
I was gonna say, like, are we really surprised
Yeah, it
that
can't
it
really
happened?
be. It's sad because it was a great service, and I feel like a lot of people benefited from it greatly.
Yeah.
A lot of moviegoers.
Yeah, it was
Um,
definitely like a good idea that just wasn't gonna work properly
No.
for the company's gain.
Yeah.
You know?
And if I can't imagine them coming back from this, so we've started the process of the long goodbye to
Right.
MoviePass, even though it probably won't be that long.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the subscription model needs to be tweaked a little bit. I think it's a good thing, and that's what MoviePass proved, was that moviegoers want a subscription model. However, I think the problem with that is it just doesn't take into account the reality of the cost of your ticket. Yeah, tickets are high, the costs are
Mhm.
expensive, but the amount of technology in a lot of these movie theaters, from the projection, the sound equipment, to the seating and the building maintenance, to the labor costs, the overhead in a theater is high that people don't quite understand. And then you add in the extremely high film rentals that they're paying, so they're making no money. They're making sometimes 40% of that movie ticket, of that $10, has to then go to all the building maintenance and stuff. So they're
Yeah.
really not making a ton of money on
That's why your popcorn
ticket.
and drinks are so expensive.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah.
where they have to make the money. They have to make it somewhere.
Yeah.
And what MoviePass showed was that people really want movie tickets for nothing, but the
Yeah.
reality of that is it's not going to happen.
No.
And so unless there's a big change somewhere, either the film companies charge the theaters less, or you're willing to pay even more extravagant prices for popcorn to get your movie ticket lower, that the cost of admission into the building is just going to be expensive.
Yeah, it's been a long road to this, but
Mhm.
what did we expect?
We expected this.
Yeah.
Everybody's telling MoviePass it's unsustainable, but I do feel bad. There's a lot of people that bought into the service, that started
Oh, yeah.
going, and that's what the industry needs, is
Yeah, a
avid
lot of people are
moviegoers.
probably like, okay, wait, I'm really liking this whole going to the movies semi-regular thing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and the ticket price is cost prohibitive for people, because
Yeah.
there is more competition for your media dollars out there, and you're not just spending it on movies anymore. That could be the latest video game, or that could be a theme park ticket somewhere down the road, or I mean, how many?
That could be your monthly subscription to Spotify
Yeah,
or to Hulu.
Netflix, all of those places.
So many things.
Now
Yeah, after a while, like, it just builds up so much that you just have to choose, like, what is worth it and what isn't.
Mm-hmm.
What do you use more?
Yeah.
And realistically, people probably are going to use a Netflix account a lot more than being able to go to the movie theater.
Yeah, probably.
It's just it's just the reality of the situation.
I will be curious to see like how other models similar to MoviePass work out in the future as well. Like AMC has theirs, a couple of the theaters do now too. We talked about this like a few weeks ago, I think. I'll just be curious to see. Like, I'm not saying like they're gonna go bankrupt. I'm just curious to see like if they're gonna find success or not.
Now with MoviePass out of the picture.
I
Yeah.
don't know if MoviePass is going to be completely out. What's probably going to happen is they're going to say, "Okay, we have to dramatically change our model, and we're going to
You guys
go.
were right. We thought it could work.
We're
and
either
they'll-
going to increase the price to the $50 a month, or we're going to limit the amounts of times you go in it to the 4 tickets a month, and so I think they'll plug along, but will they have another 2 million subscriptions? Probably not. And will you get unlimited movies for $10 a month? Well, obviously not. So what's the new iteration of that? Probably 4 tickets a month, probably peak pricing.
Oh, yeah.
Probably
that's
a
not
lot of
going
the
away.
other things they've been trying to squeeze in there.
Yeah.
Oh, shocking. The ticket stub thing didn't even come up.
Yeah,
Taking a picture of your ticket stub didn't even come up yet.
I noticed that last week, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? That's a thing now that we have to take pictures of our ticket." Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but it's just like, really, that's what?
Well, what else are we using these cards for? You can't use these cards for anything else.
Yeah.
You already checked in. The only way you're going to get the ticket by after checking in is swiping this one specific card. I don't understand how they think people are
Like going
gaming the
around the
system.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking too. I was like, there can't be a way to go around it, can there?
Oh, it wasn't for gaming the system. It was to try to purge the roles, so to speak.
people like us, Kyle.
Yeah, the avid
The people like
moviegoers.
us.
The
I
people
get-
actually using it.
I guess, but I just thought it was a weird thing to include. And
Yeah.
It was just
Whatever.
another hurdle for people that are going a couple times a week.
Yeah.
You know, it was easy for them to misstep, and then they're off the system.
Did that happen to you at Sorry to Bother You?
It did, yeah.
I remember about the taking a picture of your ticket stub thing, and I was just like, oh boy, here we go again.
Yeah,
Did you
I
take
didn't-
a picture of your stub, Eric?
I forgot about it, and then I had to go back out into the lobby and do it.
Exactly like
Yes.
we said you would have
Yeah.
to. Oh my gosh. Eric and I talked about this. I think this is when you were sick.
Oh,
And we were
okay.
like, people are going to be like, oh no, excuse me, I gotta go take a picture of
Yeah,
my
I just gotta go
ticket.
take a
Pretty
picture.
much
Don't mind
exactly
me.
what happened. Thankfully, there wasn't a whole lot of people there, so I didn't have to shuffle past them, but I had to shuffle past my friend and his girlfriend.
Yeah.
So, because, I lock my phone the second after I get the confirmation thing. It's like, okay, you can purchase your ticket. I'm like, boom, lock my phone. And then I'm sitting there, and it's dark, and it's like, oh, my God. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Like, where are you going? I'm
Oh,
like,
just take pictures.
I got to go take a confirmation picture of my ticket stub. I'll be back.
You just gotta be very brief about it. Just be like, just gotta take some photos. It's
Yeah.
whatever.
I'm going to prove I was at this theater.
Just a normal thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
So,
a
yeah,
weird.
that
That was a
happened.
weird feature. I didn't get it, but whatever. Whatever. They're bankrupt
Yeah,
now.
you wouldn't know that was a thing unless you read the email that they sent you.
It's,
But who reads
there was
emails?
there was gonna be a new one in 2 days. Like I couldn't keep up. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that didn't really have an opportunity to last very long.
Yeah. So sad. Not really.
If I probably could have gotten away with not taking a picture of that ticket stub, and then I'd be banned from MoviePass, but then MoviePass would not be a thing anymore.
Right.
So really, the joke's on them.
Oh, well, we'll have to see if this really is the complete death of MoviePass, or if they will be reborn as something smaller, maybe
I don't know.
grittier, hardened from the system, more robust.
Can't imagine. I'm thinking that this is definitely the death of MoviePass as we know it. Maybe they'll. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe something else will come along similar to it.
Well, we do know that other subscription services are working and working well. And the latest news with Netflix is they got worldwide distribution rights to Mowgli from
Yeah,
Warner
that
Brothers.
was really out of the blue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
surprising.
It's like, oh, okay.
And then it
I
was
guess.
taken off the release schedule, so they're
Yep.
going all in on Netflix on this
Yeah.
release.
And I mean, this is just something that we're gonna have to get used to anymore. It's not.
Mhm.
It's shocking at first, but then I'm like, okay. When I think about it, we've seen this happen before. They
Mhm.
did this with Annihilation, with the international distribution. You said another one earlier, Kyle.
Cloverfield Paradox was
Cloverfield
another.
Paradox, that was Paramount originally.
That was
Yep.
Slender Man almost.
Yeah, almost.
Well, they were trying. The producers were trying to look for a new distributor, like a Netflix or a Hulu or something. But I think in the end, like they were able to work something out with Sony, and it seems like they're gonna go full throttle with it. I mean, the trailer just dropped recently, so it seems like they're all in now.
It's interesting to me because the pattern seems to be that these movies, these major studio movies that do end up going the streaming distribution route, tend to be movies that the studios either never had much confidence in or they kind of lose confidence going forward.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of both those things, and that if they weren't going to go super wide on them, both Paramount and Warner Brothers don't have a specialty division. Like Fox had Fox Searchlight, which was a smaller, more robust.
Oh, that's a good point. So
and
they can't give it to them and expect it to not be as
make
big.
2 or 3 or 10 or 20 million. So if you've got a big company like Warner's and you're guessing that in its run it might only do 20 to 30 million, that's pretty low for the wide footprint that they usually distribute. And so I can see why they were like, let's just go streaming, save the cost of creating all the DCP, save us on our distribution costs, and get there sooner, and then maybe we'll make a little bit more money. But I can't imagine that Mowgli didn't have a huge budget. So this is
I'm sure it did.
Super surprising to me
that
they
capture and everything. But, you know, it was
all that star power on there. Plus, well, they didn't market it very much, so that cost isn't going to affect them too much. But
that's probably why they ended up. I wonder how long this has been like gestating over at Warner Bros. Like whether or not they're gonna
maybe after the first trailer, because there really wasn't much of a reaction after the first trailer.
Well, I think most people, at least some of my friends and family, they saw that trailer and their initial reaction essentially boiled down to, wait, didn't we just have a Jungle Book movie?
Yeah, I think that's really what hurt it in general. I mean, when you hear like about a grittier Jungle Book movie with that star power that we have, along with Andy Serkis in the director's chair dealing with all that mocap, like you should be on board. Like that's brilliant, but because of what Disney did with the Jungle Book, I just think people are just turned off by anything else.
Most people aren't going to look into it and figure like, oh, this is like a totally different take on it. This is
if they don't see
really dark and more close to the source material. They just see the trailer superficially and go, oh, are they making another one already?
They forget that there was a dark book and they've just focused on the
Disney
version, which I mean is fair. It probably is more popular now than the book was, but
absolutely,
people just forget about it, and that also is hurting it a bit.
And that could have been something Warner Brothers was worried about. Like, people are going to go into this thinking it's the Disney version of Jungle Book, the version that we've all grown up with and we know.
And all of a sudden, this little kid's being stabbed in a cage.
Yeah, and they're like, I could see people getting super upset over that. So, this is not your take your child to see Jungle Book movie. This was a darker,
and I feel like
version.
They're having trouble getting that across. Mm-hmm. So they're like, well,
and Warner Brothers is a really good marketing machine for the most part. They spend quite a bit on marketing. They know how to kind of market these films to be for their own things. So if they were having trouble with this, I think it just overall was not something that fit into their big apparatus, and probably would have benefited from being a specialty division film if they had one.
Yeah, I think in general, like this was just probably a smart move for Warner Bros. To save their money, but also a smart move for Netflix as well. Like they're going to be able to have like this big budget movie on their hands, and I think
say Mowgli, a Netflix original.
And honestly, like with so much weird stuff that Netflix is able to like come up with and create, and just let people make stuff that they want to make, I think this is going to help Mowgli's marketing as well, because people will be like, this is coming from Netflix. This is something different. We should sit in our homes and check it out. So in a way, this could help the movie when it comes to its views.
Well, I think you're also onto something there, because again, going back to just the common movie-going people, they're not going to, I'm sure a lot of them aren't going to know, oh, this was originally a Warner Brothers movie, and now it's been given to Netflix. They're just going to see it as a Netflix movie.
Right.
And so that will probably legitimize Netflix's output more, because a lot of people like to joke about how there's like 8 trillion Netflix shows and like 7 trillion whatever are terrible.
They're when they try big budget, that's usually where it kind of hurts them a bit.
Because I remember Bright was a big deal, which I think is a pretty terrible movie, but
Yeah,
it wasn't
great.
It looked like a high budget movie that you could see in the theater, and people are like, oh, this is coming from Netflix. I guess these people can make real movies too, not just like streaming stuff.
And we've talked about this in previous podcasts where moving forward, because the film companies have moved away from that mid-range, smaller picture
The
to
budget,
just
you mean?
to just these big tentpole films. Where are these kind of small range, low grossing but still really good films gonna go? And streaming and alternative content are gonna try to be there to fill in the gaps, the distribution gaps, where you don't have to create hard drives, you don't have to market in certain markets, so where they can save themselves money on distribution by licensing to these third parties and getting some money back from them for it. I think that's where we're going to start seeing this more and more. I think the studios would like to go what's called day and date with a theater, where they stream it on Netflix and show it in the movie theaters at the same time in select markets. But I don't see the movie theaters going for that, so that I think you're going to see way more direct to Netflix films.
I think so too.
Yeah, agreed.
And not see them in theaters. So
Mm-hmm.
it'll be kind of interesting. We'll have to watch to see how it does. Unfortunately, Netflix doesn't ever put out numbers or anything, so we won't know how many people watched it. We won't know what the numbers are. But I think we can surmise if Warner's does this again or other film companies start doing it, that
people start catching on.
Is working.
Yeah.
So we'll have to just watch that. A film though that I hope doesn't go to Netflix is the new Joker movie. We'll have to see. But Robert De Niro was just announced as being added to the cast. So
is he added to the cast? I thought I heard that he was in talks.
In talks quotes, but it's.
Have you ever heard of
he
it?
He met with Todd Phillips, and Todd Phillips gave him apparently like the same passionate, really articulated pitch that he gave Joaquin.
Well, better than it being a bad pitch.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is it's confirmed. I think I read several different sources, and they all worded it because he's technically not on board yet, so you're not going to see his name on the press kit or whatever yet, but he's pretty much in it.
Right. I think they wouldn't want to walk back this publicity if he wasn't going to be in it. They're probably hashing out contract negotiations right now, but it's further enough along that they felt comfortable by announcing.
Yeah. Because Robert De Niro had a long response to it, just like Joaquin did. All signs point that he was hesitant at first because superhero movies
and DC ones.
Yeah. But like he did with Joaquin Phoenix, Todd Phillips pitched it as in the vein of like 80s crime movies, which is Robert De Niro is kind of known for those.
Right up his
just a
alley.
little, yeah.
So it's not official, but I would assume it would be here in the next week or two.
Super excited for this Joker movie now. I didn't really think I needed it, but now
Joaquin
with
Phoenix and Robert De Niro, like what?
I'm like,
I can't even.
whoa.
I feel weird. It feels weird to say the Joker movie. The one with Joaquin Phoenix and Robert De Niro.
Right. With these like stellar actors.
Yeah, it's crazy. The more I think about it, and especially with Robert De Niro on board now, I really think that it's gonna be completely unlike any super. It's gonna be a superhero movie only in genre, or because the character is from comic books.
Yeah.
But everything about it, I feel like, it's not gonna be superhero-y or comic booky.
I hope we're seeing the birth of the DC dark or DC Black Label. We don't want to go dark. We want to go black. DC Black Label.
Yeah, it seems like they're still trying for that, and this will be the start of it. I'm gonna be a little bit of a Debbie Downer here, and I'll explain myself. Like, this still doesn't get me that excited, and the reason that it doesn't get me that excited is that I still don't think we need a Joker origin movie. Like, the casting is very impressive, but it's kind of like what happened to me when I first heard about a Venom movie. It's a movie that I don't think is needed. Like, even when they casted Tom Hardy and all these other great actors, I still wasn't on board with the whole thing. And in the end, like for both of these movies, I just need to see the full thing
Yeah,
to where
that's
I can
fair.
officially be like, this was awesome. This is what I needed.
I was like that at very first because I would be perfectly happy if the last Joker ever was Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
But the more news come out about it, like I was saying, it doesn't. Venom, I think, it doesn't look very good, and we know that that's supposed to be part of this Sony connected universe thing. But
Yeah,
this
sure.
movie is completely its own thing. It's a standalone one-off story, and the material is there. Like, yeah, maybe we don't need an origin film, but everything about this, I feel like they're gonna tell. I'm always down for a well-told story, and I think that's
I'm
what's
kind
gonna
of
happen.
excited that it's an origin story because I'm not very familiar from the comic book standpoint of these characters. And so for me, it's always intriguing to find out where they began because I kind of know, I know Joker is this character that is like a psycho and he's really evil and he does these horrible things and Batman is his nemesis. Like that's like my knowledge of it, but I don't know how he became that way at all.
That's
so.
kind
I
of
never really cared to know.
Yeah,
the Joker is always. He's like just a symbol. Like the Dark Knight did a really good job with it. He's just kind of the embodiment of just like chaos. Really, It's not important to know where he comes from, what his real name is, or any of that stuff. So of course we don't need one.
I mean, there's really like only one origin story, and it's the Killing Joke, and even that has some mixed results. It's like one of the best or one of the most well-known stories of Batman and of Joker, but it's like
The graphic novel, it's incredibly celebrated. But then they released an animated movie adaptation of it, and it didn't really go over very well.
But the thing about the Joker, like Eric was saying, was that like this character is such in a league of his own that you almost don't need a backstory or an origin story for him. Maybe this movie will change my mind about that, but just
I
from
agree.
knowing about this character, it just doesn't seem like it's a necessary thing to be told.
To me, he's always he's an idea first and a person or character second. If that makes sense.
Interesting. I think the only character that I've ever not needed an origin story that they made one was Solo. Like I really didn't need Han Solo's origin story, but for some reason I still feel like I need Joker. Like I think you want to make sense of the chaos and the villain and how scary it is, and for me trying to make sense of that and put it like rationalize that character is to find out where he is in the beginning and how he made that leap.
That's why I'm confident in the movie. Because it's going to be, if they pull it off, it'll be really interesting to see how a society and how the world around an individual can, do this to a person and then create this embodiment of chaos or narcissism, I guess.
Or how somebody can be more vulnerable to the dark kind of negative side of society.
Yeah.
I can tell you they fell into a vat of chemicals and turned crazy.
Yeah, see, that's very common.
But yeah, I mean, we can go deep into it and figure it out.
It's not confirmed that they're adapting the Killing Joke. It's
I don't think they are. Not necessarily.
I would really prefer they don't show
if
Joaquin Phoenix fall into a vat of
I know, me too.
chemicals.
Then again, if they make Joaquin Phoenix wear the Red Hood costume that he falls into and becomes the Joker, like that will be amazing because it's literally just like
it's like
a giant red helmet that you just can't see
bucket.
anything, and it's amazing. So if they do that, then I'll probably be like, okay, let's check this out.
I want them to stay away from all of that because that just reeks of comic bookness.
Oh yeah,
just
that
some vague chemical that creates whatever.
You guys bring up a really good point. In my mind, when I hear Robert De Niro and that's a gritty crime drama, I don't think about the vat of chemicals. Like I think that they're like he goes psycho from events that happen in this film, like not from the vat of chemicals. So I think maybe I already preconceived that they are going in a different direction of the story. I'll be disappointed because I've already in my mind created like this character that gets caught up in this crime boss issue and that probably gets betrayed and on multiple levels, and so I'm getting really excited for that.
There was an actress that got cast as his mom too. I'm trying to think of her name.
It was
I think
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Was it Bryce Dallas?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm guessing it's gonna be like a flashback, and she's gonna be the mom of like young Joker.
I don't know why I was thinking it was a different actress, but that's interesting. I mean, I'm still not really looking forward to this movie anyway, but I will say that's an interesting choice.
I guess I'm excited to see just what they make. I'm not excited for the movie itself. Maybe that sounds contradictory, but
a little.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see how the talent involved and the approach they take turns out. But I'm not anticipating like the idea of the movie. I don't know.
What do you think of Todd Phillips as the director as well? Because I think
Cody
that's
Cody and I talked about that pretty extensively.
Oh, good. Okay.
I had a theory that it's good.
Yeah.
I actually like it because he strikes me as like a more crass, immature version of Adam McKay, and he made The Big Short after making movies like Anchorman.
Yeah.
So he's very like he's a comedy guy, but when he wants to, he can bring in real world, more drama without sacrificing the comedy element. And so I feel like Todd Phillips, with this background in comedy, understands what makes a comedian and what sets them apart from other people. And he has kind of a twisted sense of humor. So I feel like it's definitely in his realm. He could just take that twisted part and just turn it up to 11 and really screw with us.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And that was kind of my thought, that he had this connection with comedians and probably really understood that, like, how a comedian works, because a comedian usually has a depressed, dark side to them. A lot of famous comedians, like Robin Williams did, really battle that demon, that darkness, and
right.
And that made their comedy better and made them strive to make other people not feel what they were feeling. And I think they can also have this ability to observe the world and see human interactions maybe differently, or see different motivations for them. And that's how they can actually bring out jokes and stuff about how the world works. And I think you need somebody that can understand that as well to bring that out in the story of everything. So I really like that it's a director tied to comedy and comedians, and not just like a comic book director tied to action. Yeah, okay. When you put it like that, that makes a lot of sense.
Well,
I didn't think
to clarify my
way.
point, I'm hoping for him to. I'm hoping that this is like a passion project for him, and he's worked really, really hard, and it's really important for him, because I don't think really any of his movies are that good. A lot of people love I love Old School, it's a classic, or Hangover, which is a very funny movie. But as a whole, I wouldn't consider any of his movies great. I'm not expecting this movie to be good because I think he's a good director. I just think, from what I've heard, especially the Joaquin Phoenix vouching for him, I'm banking on the fact that he believes this is his chance to make something really great. And I usually always try to give them the benefit of the doubt and bet that they can pull it off.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I couldn't verify the Bryce Dallas Howard casting.
I think we just did. It was our newest news brief. I'm pretty sure today.
Today?
Yeah.
Our site, silverscreeninsider.com, where you get all of your movie news and information.
Oh.
Go check it out, everyone.
I have that she's going to play Elton John's mother.
Oh, that's what it was.
You liar.
Well,
so I was
Eric.
confused.
Elton John. I got Elton John joke.
But that's still good, though. I like that, though. That's good. That's still good casting.
Yeah. Little baby Elton John in a flashback. I walked that back completely.
Yeah.
Someone did get cast as Joker's mom, though. I don't know who, but...
Well, then I have not read about
the
that.
only cast via Silver Screen Insider that is official that we've got from the studio is Joaquin Phoenix and Todd Phillips. Robert De Niro hasn't been officially cast yet, so he's not even on our list.
And Bryce Dallas Howard is definitely not, as of yet.
We have
Joker.
confirmed.
We have confirmed via Silver Screen Insider.
Maybe she'll be his love interest later.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's funny.
In the other casting news, they are rebooting Charlie's Angels franchise again. And I was actually really surprised because they've announced the cast. Elizabeth Banks is directing, so she's kind of taken this on.
Also playing Bosley.
Yeah,
yes.
So
I'm not very familiar, so I don't really know.
Bosley
is that the guy who kind of
talks through the recorder?
Them?
Yeah, and then sends things for them, and gives them their missions, but you never see Bosley.
Oh, I wonder if we'll never see Elizabeth Banks.
You'll see Elizabeth
Probably.
Banks.
Or is Bosley's the one.
I don't know anything about Charlie's Angels.
Now I think.
The 70s.
Except for the GameCube game.
The GameCube game.
Which is very terrible. But yeah, who were the people that were announced for that? We have Naomi Scott,
Yeah. Kristen Stewart.
and the relatively unknown in America,
Yeah.
Ella Balinska.
That sounds close.
How do you pronounce her name? Balinska, Ella Balinska.
Nice.
Yeah, she had kind of a couple shows under her belt over in the UK. Naomi Scott, obviously, most people probably know her as the Pink Ranger in the Power Rangers movie last year.
She's going to be cast as, or she is Jasmine in Aladdin as well.
Oh, that's right. I knew there was another thing that
Yeah.
she was doing. Okay.
It's a very interesting cast because I just feel like from what I know of all three of these actresses, they just seem so different, which I guess like they want different personalities and that's what they're going for, which I mean will make for good entertainment, obviously. But I mean, like we've seen Kristen Stewart, like she's bounced back from Twilight hate and she's gone on to do great independent projects that have showcased her talents. Naomi Scott is an upcomer. I really liked her in Power Rangers, and I think she works well in an ensemble. So I think this can work for her talents as well. The third girl, Ella, that was her name.
Ella.
I just unfortunately don't know her, but I may have a new show
either.
to binge watch now at least. So maybe if I check that out, I'll see how good she is. But I mean, good for her for being able to get a job like this. I mean,
Yeah, it's a pretty
being
it's a hell
directed
of
by
a
Elizabeth
first feature
Banks
film
and-
gig.
yeah, like that's pretty impressive. So I mean, if she's able to nab that, then
Yeah, hopefully this can be a big break for her, and we'll,
yeah, exactly.
if she's good, which I'm sure she will be. She's probably psyching herself up like, oh, I gotta, get
gotta
this
do
right.
this
Is
right.
this is my
Yeah.
big break.
I knew I was wrong in explaining who Bosley was. So the voice in the recorder that they get all their missions
Isn't that
from.
Charlie?
That's Charlie.
Yeah. I
don't know why I thought that was-
That
So
makes a
in the
lot
game.
more sense now. I was
Bosley
like,
is
Bosley's
like their
Angels.
handler. They're the go-to
like
guy.
the gizmo
Yeah.
person.
Oh,
Oh, that
like-
makes a
like they're-
lot.
Like
Yeah,
that
they're-
oversees them and kind of and their
Their
go-to
spotter.
Yeah.
the guy in the
Elizabeth
chair.
Banks gonna be like,
Yeah.
"Here's a gadget, whoopsie," and then it's gonna like fire off a thing or
Yeah.
something. And I don't know if it'll be
That
like that, but I can
classic-
see her
that
doing it.
classic scene.
So
Classic.
I feel like it's not really a reboot, like with all female cast, even though Bosley's going to be female in this one because Charlie's Angels have always been ladies.
Yeah.
So this is going to be really fun. And
think-
she did a really good, with the women ensemble by by Pitch Perfects. So I
The
think
second one, yeah.
Yeah. So I think and the third one, right?
No, it
Oh,
was a
she-
different girl.
She only did the second one. Okay. Well, I think she has it in her to be able to direct and star and do that
Yeah.
very well.
I get what you mean. I wasn't a big of a fan of Pitch Perfect 2, and I thought her directing abilities were fine. Like you can tell, like they were a first-time director's abilities, but I think like she's just is able to now know how to handle a big budget picture and how to handle like a big ensemble. Especially with Pitch Perfect 2, there was a lot of really great actors and actresses in that. So I think like with that experience, like it could help make this project like pretty darn good. But I mean, obviously we have to see more of it. But I think this can be promising for Elizabeth Banks' directing career.
Yeah.
Eric
I agree.
agrees.
I'm still not with you guys on Kristen Stewart. Like,
Oh.
is she gonna be the mopey one?
I don't know.
Or she could be the happy
she's so
one.
tiny too. Like she's
What? They're all what? Have you seen
No.
Naomi Scott? Like,
no.
she's-
Kristen Stewart is
yeah.
tiny.
No, I know, but I mean that's a weird
I
thing to. I don't know. That's weird.
I don't know.
to
In the age
I
of
kinda put her
Wonder
in a
Woman's
corner.
with
I
like
didn't
big
mean
buff
to.
chicks kicking butt, I want to see that.
I mean, they can gain muscle. Like,
Yeah,
it's
Daisy
called-
Ridley.
I mean, Gal Gadot.
She's tall though. She
Oh.
has the Force. I mean, you don't need a lot of muscle mass when you have
But
the
her
Force.
training regime was like
Yeah.
crazy. It's possible.
It's possible.
I'm not worried as much about that. Like, there's trainers that
I
can
just love
work
Kristen
on them.
Stewart. I think she's a fine actress.
Yeah, do you check out some of her independent work? Like, I think she'll surprise you. I think she'll surprise you a bit.
One thing I want to, Personal Shopper was a movie that came out last year that I really want to see.
That's been her best thing
got a
so far. She's
lot of
great in
acclaim for that.
Still Alice. It's a small role, but
Oh, she was really good in Still Alice.
Yeah,
I
you-
forgot about that movie.
you can tell that she well, she worked harder on her acting chops right there, and I think people were very surprised. People were just like, "Oh, wait, this
sad.
isn't."
People.
She's not totally mopey.
She shed
There's
the
something
the
there.
Twilight persona a long time ago, but people are just taking so long to catch up.
Yeah.
People
Well, I mean,
still are
and
Well,
just
because
gonna-
she
they're all
is in movies that nobody sees.
exactly like they
people
that
see
that
them.
is fair.
People
Sorry.
see them.
That regular people don't see.
Regular people.
It's a little judgmental towards people that like movies. People
is-
that like movies see her movies.
It does make me wonder if
I like
Kristen
movies
Stewart.
and I don't watch her movies.
Well, you
What
should.
are you saying, Eric?
You should.
That's a little snooty.
It does make me wonder if she's like ready to get back into the big budget scene. I wonder if she
Yeah.
feels confident enough in her acting chops that she feels like she can do something like this again.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I mean, here's hoping that it turns out to be something good. We'll have to
Mhm.
see.
Another reboot on the horizon. It's not really a reboot or a remake. It's more of like a reiteration of a long-held classic, Home Alone. Only Ryan Reynolds has taken it and made it dirty in Stoned Alone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This stoner film where somebody misses their plane for their ski trip and goes home stoned, only to have robbers attack the house.
Oh man.
it's
I can't wait.
it's weirdly entertaining to think about, to be honest.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's
I
it's
kind
the
of
most
laughed
like
already.
Yeah.
it's the most high concept pitch
Yeah.
ever. But you
The
know,
pun.
people will see it, and I'm sure it'll be stoner
I
funny.
wonder if it's supposed to be a 20-something guy, so I wonder if he'll be in it or not. Or
I mean,
he's like, I'm too old for this.
Yeah, he's not a 20-something.
I feel like that this type of humor will work well with Ryan Reynolds' acting chops, but it also does
Maybe he'll be
make
one
me
of the
wish.
burglars.
What?
Maybe he'll be one of the burglars.
Maybe, yeah. Who
Ooh,
knows?
That
I
would be
mean,
really
And
good.
then he'll get stoned with the 20-something.
here's what I want. I want Macaulay Culkin in this role.
Yes.
I think not only would this be a great
that'd be so
like
meta.
like press. I think this will look good for his image, but also like it would just be fun to poke fun at his work in Home Alone with something that's ridiculous.
Totally
as
seems like something
this.
he would do.
I think like he would actually be interested in it. Like I doubt it'll happen, but
He's very ironic and hip. I
Yeah.
could see him doing that.
Maybe he can be one of the robbers too.
Yeah.
oh my
Because
gosh,
he's
he
an older
robs.
man now.
It's him as an older man, and he robs the stoner's
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
He's like, don't worry, I know what it's like to be home alone.
He's a robber that reassures people that he robs. It's okay. I understand. You're
I would
home alone.
He
Wink.
He would be somebody who would get stoned with the guy at home.
Probably.
They're all gonna get stoned with him at the end, and then they're gonna realize the error of their ways, and they're just gonna chill out and watch Home Alone.
Yeah.
Or the guy's going to wake up in the morning and everything's going to be gone. He's like, I thought we were buddies.
Or he imagined the whole thing because he just got way too high. Like
Yeah.
everything is no, like the place is just destroyed because he did so much stuff to it because he thought he was being robbed.
It's supposed to be a ski trip. I wonder if it'll take place at Christmas.
Oh, they
I mean, you
gonna be
got
awesome.
the
You
meta
gotta.
aspects are just
Yeah.
gonna stack up. This needs to happen.
It does.
If this isn't how the movie turns out,
I mean,
I'm gonna
it's
boycott it.
who knows? Like
Right.
it is being. I think it is being distributed by Fox because it is coming from the idea of like one of the Fox heads there. So we'll have to see like if it actually goes through because we don't know
Oh.
like what's happening with Fox currently.
We do know what's happening.
Oh, do we?
Yeah.
Ooh,
That's a good.
segue.
That's a good
We
segue.
do
I,
know.
I like.
Fox,
Oh yeah, if that's through
Ford
Fox, and now they're
Yeah.
gonna be with Disney. I don't
I mean,
know.
I'm speculating that it's going through Fox. I don't know. It could obviously
Oh.
change.
Hey, I don't know
but,
if I could see Disney doing a stoned alone.
like
movie.
even for a
No.
streaming service, I don't know if they'll want to.
But yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
one step closer.
Yeah, Fox Disney, one step closer. The boards approved the merger, so
I don't understand. This is
71
all
billion.
so over my head. I don't
Right.
get these technical things. Like what? How many steps are there? What happens
there's gonna
now?
be several
27.
steps. The
Oh.
board, yeah, the boards had to approve the sale because it affects their share price. So they're selling shares of the company, and so the board has to approve that.
Okay.
All the shareholders have to vote and approve that.
Is that like
Um,
those things you can imagine, like a big table and all these guys in suits sitting at?
I'm
and-
sure it was done via email or proxy votes or something.
Oh, that's not as cool.
I
It's
imagine-
not as exciting.
I imagine Disney came in with a with some kind of setup and just like a piece of paper that says 71
graph?
billion. Yeah, it's not even like a graph. It's just in big block numbers that just say 71 billion, and they're just like, okay, like they're gonna make so much money just
Then
from that. It's ridiculous.
It'll go to the lawyers to hash out all of those details, and then go to the government for approval on the merger.
So I feel like what most people wonder, in theory, when would you say is a realistic time to expect sitting in the movie theater and you see a movie? Wait, you see a Fox property, but in the intro you see Disney's name attached to it.
2020.
Well, I think it'll be at least
Really?
a
Yeah.
year.
I thought you were gonna give me another
No, yeah,
20,
like
so
I'm actually being
Two.
serious.
A year at the earliest, probably 2 years.
Okay.
And I think that there's going to be a lot of questions that they've got to figure out. Obviously, Fox and Disney each have a distribution team.
Yep.
So how are they going to incorporate that? They have obviously vastly different release schedules and diverse slates. And Disney has been known to not have that many releases, while Fox is usually a really good producer of releases. So they've got to incorporate all of the ones that Fox has already greenlit with what Disney has on the horizon. So I think they're probably going to go through the current slate, and then Fox has a special division, Fox Searchlight. So what are they going to do with that?
I would say be prepared for when Disney streaming service to happen, that a lot of those Fox projects will probably be put on there.
That's what a lot of people are saying, but I think with its specialty division, who has been really consistent awards contender the last few years, I think you're going to see hopefully Fox Searchlight survive this as a specialty division for maybe all of the titles, in Disney and Fox.
So like if Disney decided to make a smaller
like they
budget, more prestige picture, maybe?
They've done. Well, when they had DreamWorks, they did do DreamWorks live action films. I think Lincoln was under them.
Oh.
I'd have to double check that. But there have been some specialty films, I think, when they had their deal with DreamWorks that I don't know if are continuing on.
Okay. Disney had Touchstone for a while too, didn't they?
Yeah.
And they had some prestigious stuff, if I remember correctly. Or at least something that's just a little bit higher of level as compared to like their usual Disney products anyway.
Yeah, it's just
so I mean, like
of all this stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. Like it's just a lot, but I wouldn't be too worried about how Disney handles everything with Fox. Like I think it'll be planned out okay. I think they have a few ideas in store on what to do with some of their projects. I think some projects will also get canceled just in general until they think of something new for like Disney's vision of it all, but
probably
I would say for the most part, like I wouldn't worry too much of like big changes on all of their products.
Upcoming, not anything that's been announced. If it's been announced and it's on the release schedule now under Fox, it'll stay that way. It's just what's going to happen past that point. Are we going to get Stoned Alone in 3 years? Probably not. If we do, they might be under a Searchlight banner. Or they might just go to the streaming
picture.
Yeah, or they might go to the streaming service. Well, their Searchlight banner could maybe also be used for their R-rated content too.
Yeah, because they've done that before, obviously.
Because Pixar, they maintain Pixar, they maintain Marvel, they could easily maintain Searchlight and maybe just drop the Fox part for it and call it Searchlight, and then that could be either their specialty division or their rated R division.
Interesting.
Yeah. So right now it's just another step closer for Disney to be able to acquire just about everything
More
from
content.
Fox. Yeah, basically. But it's not official. Like they don't fully own everything yet. Like Fox still has time to do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's official now that this is the way they're moving, that there are no other contenders in the market. It's going to get sold to Disney. When that sale finally closes and all of the pieces have been rearranged, probably not for a couple more years.
Okay.
And who knows, the government may decide that this isn't going to happen. Like they are trying to now walk back on the AT&T Warner Brothers merger.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see.
That for like threat of monopoly or something?
Well, it's interesting, and I don't know all the technical aspects, but AT&T and Warner Brothers are two distinct, different industries. So there are different industries. And usually those mergers, when they're in different non-competing industries, work well together. But the government is going past them saying going after them saying they're a monopoly and that it's going to harm consumers. Well, the Disney and Fox is the same industry, and that does lower competition, and that does hurt consumers.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
but
sure.
somehow those kind of mergers have been going through easier the government. So
They're Marvel fans.
It sounds counterintuitive, but it might be an easier merger to go back on. There's also a lot of politics in play and stuff as well. And who knows
want to think about that.
What the makeup of government is going to be in 2 years and that sort of thing. So who knows where it's all going to go.
Exciting times.
Very, though.
Well, on that bombshell, I think we've covered everything this week.
Yeah.
Been an interesting week, that's for sure.
Yeah, lots happened.
Mhm.
A lot of interesting news. A lot of kind of emotional news. From the firing of James Gunn to the demise of the MoviePass.
Yeah.
But then exciting stuff.
It's a transitionary period for the
Stoned
entertainment
Alone.
industry.
Stoned Alone, exciting
Stoned
stuff.
Alone, Best Picture 2020.
I'll take that bet. Yeah, why not?
So this weekend we already saw Mission Impossible.
Yeah, I know.
You're gonna see it hopefully tonight.
Yes.
Are there any other films that we're interested in?
I'm curious to see how well Teen Titans Go will do. I don't think I'm gonna go out and see it, but it's interesting to see the reactions from critics that it's been having. It's been pretty
doing
good
really well.
overall. So I'll be curious to see how well it does at the box office over the weekend.
You're not gonna go?
No, I as of right now, I just don't think it's my cup of tea. But maybe if I just keep hearing great things about it, maybe
your
I'll change my
job.
mind, or maybe I'll stream it one day. But no, for now, I'm good. I'll just watch it from a distance.
I'll see. I'm not
That's
gonna
the
make
only,
any bets, but I think I'm gonna try to see it this weekend.
I mean,
that's
your
the only
kids will
other
probably
new
like
movie,
it.
right? That's the only other new one coming out this weekend.
That's wide release.
Yeah.
Well, which one? Sorry.
Teen Titans Go.
Blind Spotting is getting a bigger release, I think. But as for wide releases,
Yeah,
it's just
okay.
Teen Titans Go.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I remember seeing the 27th attached to Blind Spotting.
I do want to see Blind Spotting though.
Yeah, no, I do too.
I think that one will be very good.
Yeah, there's just some limited release titles that won't make it here and aren't worth mentioning, but the big ones are Teen Titans and.
I'm excited for Mission Impossible. So
Nice.
Yeah. We will be having a huge discussion on Monday about all the spoilers for Mission Impossible.
I can't wait to see with my movie.
Oh.
Better take some cash or another credit card. Take backup, Eric.
Okay.
Protect yourself from lost hopes and dreams. All right. Take care, everyone.
See you later.